So now, like I said, as illogical as this game seems, it sets up rules and it follows those rules. And you really can't ask for more from a story. I mean, obviously you want the story to be good too, so you can ask for that. But good and bad is obviously subjective. What you really need is the story to follow its own rules. And so what's happened now is Alan... Oh. Danny, come on, you don't want to do this, buddy.
Let me guess. Danny, huh?
So those are the drunk came up here looking for the moonshine of the Andersons, and that's what he was drunk with when he was back at the episode 1 when we saw him. That's pretty cool. So Alan has officially,
The front door was locked. I could climb out through the broken window.
has written himself into the story,
I'd need a car to get
changed the protagonist's name to Alan Wake. So he apparently got enough sense while the darkness was overtaking him to understand what was happening. Understand that by writing, he was creating this story. And so originally, this story had a different, character's name going through all of it. And Alan said, no, if someone's going to go through this, if someone's going to battle this thing, it's got to be me. So he writes himself into the story, and by doing that, is now subjected to the rules of the universe. And then he also put in Thomas Zane as his guide, because he remembered the books downstairs of Thomas Zane. He remembered the story of Thomas Zane, hearing whispers of him through the darkness, and their kind of frustrations with him and how he defeated them before, or at least kept them at bay, all about the Andersons. And he worked that stuff into the story. So it's very meta. But at the same time, Alan doesn't know how the story ends. So doesn't mean he's going to get a happy ending. And he knows that. And he's now starting to commit himself to the idea of sacrifice for the greater good. And this is a guy who was selfish, who lashed out at people, who, was not that type of guy. And now he's forcing himself to become that kind of guy. All right, so this is a pretty cool area because this is all optional, just like all the other times you drive. If you get out though and expect to battle things, you can drive other vehicles, go into other houses, and get other supplies. So we got the arrows coming here. Boom, box of goodies. Nice. Got some flashbangs, revolver ammo. Batteries, nice. Loading up. Let's see what's upstairs. Pretty much nothing. All right. On the road again. I can't remember if there was like a radio button. I don't think there is. So this car had lights on inside. That car has lights on inside. So that's pretty interesting. Either there's a bunch of irresponsible people here, or there's someone in this area that knows about the darkness and flipping on all the lights. The lights in here are on. Oops, whoops. Right past the door. Hunting rifle or... Yeah. Let's take the hunting rifle. Wait, hold on. How many bullets do we have with the shotgun? 11? Alright, we'll keep the shotgun. Wait. Never mind. There's hunting rifle ammo. Should have known. It was sitting right there in front of me. Cool.
Well, as I'm sure everyone...
Let's check in on Mr. Maine.
The storm we all felt coming is finally here. The boys at the Weather Service reckon it'll last until morning at the very least. Pertaining to that, let me read that missing persons alert again. The Sheriff's Department's still looking for a Caucasian woman, 30 years old, slim and blonde with blue eyes. She may be lost in the woods, and it's possible she's been injured in a car accident. If you see her, please make sure you get her indoors and call the sheriff. It's bad weather to be caught out in, so if you see someone in the area who maybe looks a little confused,
All right.
all right?
Yeah, help out your fellow man.
Matt Main on KBF-FM. Hoping you're all safe.
It's good to check in with Mr. Main. He's a good guy. He definitely is on our side, rooting for us. He knows that Nightingale is kind of a psychotic officer. We have Officer Nightingale chasing us, willing to shoot without asking questions. And we have Sarah Breaker, who's another officer, who I won't say is a fan of ours, as far as, like, she's not rooting for us the way, like, you know, Mr. Main is, or even like Barry. Obviously, she's kind of a wild card, but she, you know, but that's just because she's divided in. She's a cop. She wants to find the truth in what's happening, and we sound crazy when we talk, you know. So she's a little divided when it comes to us. But ultimately, she's a good person. Nightingale, though, he's kind of a nutcase. Oh, it's go time. Boom! Ah, dang, I missed him. Yeah, I'm not the world's best driver in video games. Especially this one, because this one is... I would say the mechanics aren't really there for that, you know? Like, they're... It's got a simple reverse and... Oh. And forward, but... Alright. I just want to take out some of these guys because I think they all chase me to the farm, if I'm not mistaken. Alright. Sweet. Alright. We want to make things a little bit easier for us when we get to the farm, because, oh, wait. Oh, that's right, we can't even drive any further. The road's blocked. Whew. Intense. Alright, just one guy? Okay, good. So this Anderson farm, pretty cool place. Like I said, one of my favorite settings in the game. Home to Thor and Odin, who were members of a band called the Old Gods of Asgard, who also may have fought the darkness, or at least know what it is. Them being musicians and writers of music, they would also be a target for the darkness to come after. And apparently they were at one point. And then obviously Thomas Zane was another agent of the light. And Emily, or Cynthia Weaver, I think it is, the lamp lady. She is an ally of ours in the real world. But as we see here, as Alan had like really ancillary experiences, met all of these people, because like we're talking about people that were back in the first episode, so the logic is there. Everyone Alan ran into in the first episode, he remembers enough about to have written them into the story as allies, and knowing that he's not going to have, because the darkness was forcing him to write so many enemies. And he knew that if the protagonist was going to survive this storyline, he was going to need to have some allies. And I also love that line where the drunk The drunk was mentioning, oh shoot, was where the drunk mentioned that he's like, yeah, my best friend turned into a bad guy all of a sudden. Who wrote this crap? So even pokes fun at the fact that maybe Alan isn't a great writer either. He still follows tropes. He still follows cliches. And unfortunately, Danny paid the price for it. And our drunk friend lost his best friend. And then his best friend killed him. You know, so there's shows that, you know,
The brothers used to be some kind of
Alan,
stars.
as much of, you know, as much as he tries to be an original writer, he is influenced by the things that influence him, like Stephen King and all these other stories. So I like that they called themselves out on. They wrote it in the story and then called themselves out on it.
God damn.
This is gonna get so ridiculous, you guys. So
I'm so glad you decided to go it alone, Mr.
the old gods of Asgard built a makeshift stage in their backyard.
Al, we have to fight them off. I can set off more of the fireworks from here and help you out. Hey, Al, did you notice there's a lot of animals stuff around? This place is stopped. Al, hold on. I'm trying to get the stage light on.
Oh, well, let's get that pop. Get that pump action.
Here we go. Very well to the rescue. Damn it. Goddamn turn of the century wiring.
This game is so rock and roll. It's like fight the darkness on the stage. So this is the old gods of Asgard, the band. It's very meta. They created a band that I think the songs were written by Sam Lake, one of the writers of the game. And I can't remember who sings them and stuff, but there's this song, and then there's Lady of the Lake, or Lady of the Light, or something like that. Yeah.
Battery, please, please, please. Ow, please don't let me die. This is pretty much how I always wanted to go out. Rock and roll!
They are trying to kill us. That's the high point of my life. Really?
Good old Barry. Oh, more batteries. Good. I was wondering. Oh, whoa! Look at this. It's like essentially a spotlight. I love this level. Karma wants to know if I'll ever do a 24-hour live stream. Good question. I would have to, because I have a book I'm supposed to be writing right now, and I write a little bit every couple days. and or sometimes, you know, I'll go 3-4 days in a row and write a little bit. So if I ever get to the point where I feel like I can take a day off from that, I will. Yeah, that sounds like a fun thing to do. Maybe what I would do is play the Halo games, because I really love the Halo games and I have all of them. So maybe one day I would do a 24-hour stream and just play as much Halo as I could do in 24 hours. Like, I'll just go from game to game, from Reach to 1 to 2 to 3 to ODST, and into 4 and 5. Because those games, you know, I'll play it on easy. I could probably beat them pretty quickly, and that's an easy. That feels like an easy thing to do. For a 24-hour stream, because it would last. You know, it would last the full 24 hours. So we might do that. I'm a big Halo fan. I have Halo tattoos, actually. So I'm a big fan of that universe.
New, right where I left it. I'll come back for it once we have the place secured.
Yeah, that's been my biggest worry all this time.
All right, so we got to get up there
Need to get this thing moving.
and turn this on.
This is as far as I got before they ambushed me.
All right. We got to go back to the stage. There's a page back there. Hiding in the corner. Look at this thing. Bam. Nice. So yeah, I love this. I love the old gods of Asgard. They built this stage full of pyrotechnics. Everything still worked, which is pretty dope. And they got the sign there, old gods of Asgard. So and they played concerts for these scarecrows, crazy ass old men with their moonshine. It's pretty awesome. I like that. A lot of neat stuff in this game, I feel. Because as deep as this game can get at times, I like how ridiculous it can be too. Like how it takes itself seriously and it doesn't all at once, which is just, in my opinion, just really good storytelling to balance that kind of the such extremes, you know, like that. I think is pretty cool. Not easy to do. But yeah, what do you think about that, Karma? What do you think about maybe for, you know, Christmas or Thanksgiving or something like that, like one of those holidays where I don't have to work, or I feel good about taking the day off.
I'm always right about everything, and if I don't get my way, I'll sulk all day long. I'm always intense and moody. It makes me very attractive and serious. Right now, I'm just standing here because I need my best friend Barry to carry me, but that's okay. Just take him for granted.
I think I see what you did there.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
You want me to do my imitation of Barry Wheeler? No? Thought so.
It's really good when you can write a character like Barry, that, like I said, brings levity to the table. In such an intense situation, you kind of need that. You need a character like Barry. It's cliche, but it's a good cliche. It's something that helps break up the intensity, because this is a very heavy story, and it's a lot to take in, and there's a lot of like esoteric stuff to think about when you're playing the game, and it just helps you buy into the universe a little bit more to have a guy like Barry around. Karma says that sounds too. I also wanted to know all about Halo. Oh, cool. So yeah, we'll do that. Well, maybe like I said, on a holiday like Thanksgiving or something, where I feel comfortable taking a full day off of writing. We'll do that. That'll be fun, and I won't have like any other work or any other distractions. Oh, another episode of Night Springs.
Oh, Night Springs. Man, that's back memories. Hey, remember when I got you that gig? Your first real writing job. What got you started? Was this one of your episodes?
Yeah, so learning more about Alan here. Alan used to be a writer on Night Springs, and Barry, our agent, got us that job.
That's by someone else.
All right, let's see. There's Halo's fun. Halo's a fun universe. People are always surprised when I tell them that I'm a big Resident Evil fan and Silent Hill fan and Alan Wake fan, and then I go, oh, and I love Halo. I got Halo tattoos, they're like, what? Like, I don't know. I guess the games are, I don't know, different enough, or. And I think there's some misconception. I think some people think when I say Halo, they think I just play online multiplayer, which I have done, and I like, and I have fun at it, but I don't prefer it. I like games with stories, and I think Halo, some of them have really interesting ones. I like the universe as a whole. I do like sci-fi. I'm not a big lover of sci-fi, but when there's good sci-fi, I like it.
Almost like a battering ram.
And Halo, I think, is good sci-fi, in my opinion. Check out this boat. You can't see it too well right now, but it's very Asgardian, very Viking-like. So this is the tour. Look at this. They played Long Beach, Bakersfield, New York, Jacksonville, Tampa. I've lived in a couple of these, more than a couple of these cities. But that's pretty cool. Alright, let's get down and help Barry. Oh, snap. Oh, what up? What up, dog? Flashbang. Got them both? Alright, good. Oh, no, that guy's still there. Lil C says, I like the Mass Effect trilogy. Oh, good call. Mass Effect, good sci-fi. Amen to that. I've never played Mass Effect 1. I watched my friend, when I was recovering in 2010 and I was back home and stuff, I watched my friend play 2, and then I played 3, and we each had our own copy. So when he was at work, I would play, and then when he'd come home, he would play. So yeah, check out this boat. It's got the like kind of serpent-like head on it, or dragon head. It's pretty cool looking.
I think we can make it through here, Al.
Just look around, make sure we're not missing anything. All right. Oof. Let's not get electrocuted today. Ooh. Close one. Another close one. Steve Perry. All right, look at that. We actually kicked ass that time. So there is on American Nightmares, there's actually a mode where it's kind of like Resident Evil's, what's that mode called on Resident Evil 5? Mercenaries. It's kind of like that, where it's like you play as Alan and you're in a couple different settings. You can choose which level, and it's just endless Taken coming at you. And you have to fight your way through them, and it like racks up points and score for you. So that's actually really fun. I was thinking of, because you see a lot of time people play Mercenaries or other things on their YouTube channel when they're doing commentary videos, and they're talking over the gameplay. I was thinking about, recording like 3 hours of me playing that, and then use it to make some of my gaming news episodes coming up on my other channel. All right, find us a way out of here, he says. All right, let's go through this door. What's your favorite Mass Effect game, Lil C? And everyone else in the chat. Do you guys have a favorite Mass Effect. And if you played Halo, what's your favorite Halo?
Be careful, Al!
Everyone tells me Mass Effect 2 is the best one, and from what I've played from 2 and 3, I would agree. Although, I did like 3 a lot. I didn't play it. I think they made, what, didn't they, like, add, like, stuff to the ending, or they made the ending, they changed the ending or added more or something to expand it. I guess people didn't like how 3 ended. So, so I haven't played the, you know, the new version of 3.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Keep your eyes
I'm good.
open, okay?
Some big bastard just came at me. Lil C says 2, but 3 is very good. I would 100% agree with that. I think 2 inches out over 3 a little bit, but I did have fun playing 3. That was my first Mass Effect experience from playing, was 3, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I don't know, and I found the ending to be pretty satisfactory, but I also haven't been invested, you know, for 3 games. I could imagine if someone came in and was like, hey, I've been playing all of them, and my decisions from 2 to 3, like, you know, affected my gameplay in 3, and the relationships I built are all, you know, they felt more connected to the universe, so I could understand people being upset with that. Let's see how Mr. Main is doing.
I tend to work through the night, but I'm not the only one. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton are taking a couple of moments off their busy schedule to join me here in the studio.
Let's see what the cops have to say. Are they still looking for me?
How are you now? Deerfest is almost
Lil C never played one either. Okay, copy that.
in business.
Pretty busy, yeah. Actually, Pat, we've been real busy with other stuff, which concerns an ongoing investigation. We can't talk about that. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just saying we got, you know, other irons to fry.
And how would you compare your workload to last year's? Things have seemed relatively peaceful to me, but people do tend to get a little wild.
So Deerfest is, if you, I don't know if you guys are a fan of Jaws, the movie,
There's been all sorts of trouble this
but
year.
they're in that movie. They have, it's a small town. It's terrorized by this shark. Obviously, you know the plot. But there was like a big, like, carnival or beach thing or some kind of big beach party or something that the town has, and the town is very, it brings tourists in and it brings business to the town, and so it's very important to the town. So even if there was, like, you know, a shark eating people, they would still have to deal, they still have to prepare for that festival and try to keep the news about the shark out of the papers and stuff and off the radios, so that it doesn't deter people from coming to the town. And Deerfest is kind of like that for Bright Falls. Deerfest, it doesn't bring in a ton of you know, tourists, but it does help the town. And, you know, obviously it's a very small town, so it could use the help.
I could see the building that had to be the Andersons' home on the other side of the field. It wasn't far now.
Yeah, check out their home.
The ramblings of 2 burned-out geriatric wrecks. They had the goods.
Lil C says his story connected from Mass Effect 2 to 3. Yeah, that's cool. That's what I heard. That was one of the perks of playing, you know, the whole series was that, which I think is neat. Lil C says Halo, I like Halo Reach, and 4 never beat 1, 2, or 5, or ODST. Holy cow, man. Well, you're in for a treat. ODST is one of my favorite ones. Actually, that's what's tattooed on my arm, is the flaming skull that all the ODST members get. It's kind of like when they're in the, you know, in the Marines and stuff, and you all get the same kind of tattoo. It's like a sense of brotherhood and accomplishment of, you know, being through the thick of shit together. So,
Got to be kidding me.
look at this thing. Whew. Luckily it missed us. Because that thing hits you, it's like, it does some real damage. I think it might even kill you on one hit. You're afraid of no ghost? So ODST, yeah, it's one of my favorite ones. It's kind of, because it's kind of a detective story set in the Halo universe. It's kind of standalone. So good thing this guy opened this up, because we need to climb over it and get Barry. But I have all of the Halos for Xbox One. I have them all. So we will probably start with... what we'll probably do is play... Because I think what makes Reach so great, too, is I love Reach. That was the first Halo game that I actually played. Like, besides 1. Like, I played 1 when it first came out, but only in multiplayer. From a story standpoint, though, I've played Reach was the first one. That came out the year that I was recovering from my aneurysm. So that was one of the first games I played, that and BioShock and a couple other ones. This Alan Wake was one of the last games I played before my aneurysm rupture in 2010. So Reach is very dear to me. I love Reach. But I think what makes it so great is playing it after you play a little bit of the main story, since it is a prequel. So we will probably play like 1 and 2 and 3, and maybe ODST, and then go back and play Reach.
Yeah, it's me. Hang on. I had to find a key to get Barry out. I'll try to find a key to get the door open.
Lil C says, I had ODST but never had the time to beat it. Gotcha. ODST is pretty fun. It's a really good... It has a good storyline, I think. Oh. I was like, oh, we're going to have to run through a maze to get the keys. Nope, it's just right there. All right, Barry, I'm coming. At least you had a light in there and a flashlight, dude. Come on. You were fine, Barry. Big whiny baby.
I think we're gonna have to work together to open this gate, Al. Looks pretty heavy.
Or you could just... Oh.
Hey, I think that's the farm on the other side of the field. We're almost there. This farm is a crazy place for crazy people.
We should feel right at home then.
Good old Barry. Yeah, so so maybe what we'll do is we'll play 1, 2, 3 ODST and then go back, play Reach, and then go into 4 and 5. Just kind of playing them almost in the order that they came out in. I love Reach, and I love 2 actually. I just recently played, because 2 I've never played before. It was an Xbox One game, and I had an Xbox One for like a month, and then I gave it to my little brother. And I only bought it to play Silent Hill 2 Restless Dreams. So I never, and I played Halo 1 months later when it came out at a LAN party kind of, and we played the first one. Oh, check out that chainsaw. Someone's going to pick that up and come and try to kill me, I bet you. But 2 I never got to play until recently when they did the Master Chief Collection, and they remade 2 for the 10th or 15th anniversary, whatever it was. And so I played 2 then, and so I'm recent to 2. I've only played through it once, and it was great. I understand why it's a lot of people's favorite. It has a really great storyline. But 3's good. ODST is good.
Power downstairs was out, but I was
Reach is
sure to
great.
fix that.
And even though most people don't like 4 and 5 because they're not Bungie, because Bungie went off and made Destiny and everything, I actually like 4 and 5 a little bit from a story standpoint. I don't hate them as much as a lot of people seem to hate them. And Lil C says, I can't wait to see Doctor Strange. Oh man, you are not kidding. I can't wait either. I like Chewie. I can't pronounce his full name, but Chiwetel something, the actor, he plays, he's going to play Carl Mordo in the movie. Doctor Strange's like friend kind of thing. I don't want to spoil the story if you don't know the story of Doctor Strange, but I think he's playing Mordo in the story, and he was in Serenity, the movie Serenity. He played like the bad guy in Serenity, the bounty hunter. But he's been in a bunch of other stuff. Just a tremendous actor, and he's one of the things. I'm not a big Benedict Cumberbatch fan, so the other people that are in the movie are what excite me about the movie. But I think Cumberbatch will do a good job ultimately. I don't think he's a bad actor or anything. I'm just not a huge fan of his. I haven't seen anything where I'm just like, yeah, that guy rocks. But I also haven't seen a lot of his work, so I'm just trying to trying to be fair. But either way, Doctor Strange is such a great character. And speaking of, if you like stuff like Doctor Strange, and I don't know if you're watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Ghost Rider, but I am, on October 15th, like around that date, we're going to bring back my history of Resident Evil videos. I started them months ago, never finished them. We did the first 2. We're going to do 20 videos that are like me talking, and then like other friends of mine, other YouTubers. I'm editing the footage together, working on stuff. I wrote scripts for all of us to read out. Oh, here's the other Old Gods of Asgard song. The Lady of the Lake, or Lady of the Light. And it's on repeat right now.
Can you hear that, Al? Music? Of course. We need to find where it's coming from. That's the message the Andersons taught. That's the whole reason we're here.
Lady of the Light?
But I had,
What's her face? The crazy lamp lady from the town.
Cynthia
yeah, see, even the Old Gods of Asgard, they wrote a story about Cynthia Weaver, knowing that eventually someone would, you know, need it. But then again, did they? Because Alan could have created all of this in the narrative. He could have wrote the Old Gods of Asgard having written this song. So again, it's transcending that barrier of reality and being meta, and it's pretty cool stuff. All right, we're running away from.
Give it a little thump. I want to hear this song.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Dormammu his main enemy in the cartoon or comics? Dormammu is definitely a major threat, big time. So check this out. The song is very on the nose, but it's supposed to be. But the song is also on the soundtrack. So it's funny, the few times I've driven around and kind of jammed out to the soundtrack, when this song comes on, it's like, it's really cool and laid back tune. But it's so only works as a video game song. But I want an Old Gods of Asgard record.
Before dawn, might as well get some rest. And by rest,
I wish they
mean
made one.
Drunk.
Come on, Barry. This is... Yeah.
Yeah, Dormammu's definitely the main villain, but he's got a lot of other villains. So I'm bringing the History of Resident Evil videos back on my second YouTube channel, on the gaming one. We're going to have that going starting like middle of October. So probably in about a week to a week and a half, I'll re-upload the first 2, and then I'll upload a 3rd and 4th video. And then we'll try to release them every couple weeks after that.
I'm a writer, goddammit.
And then on my main channel here, the week of Halloween, I'm not on this Twitch channel, but on my main YouTube channel, I'm rereading all the 90s Ghost Rider stuff, which is my favorite run of that character. And I have all the issues and all of the Marvel Comic Presents team-ups that he was in, all the Doctor Strange issues he was in, and I'm going to reread them all and review them every week in a new show called Friday Night Vengeance. And I can't wait. I love those books from my childhood, or my teen years, I should say. I was a teenager when I was reading those.
It's gonna be okay.
But so I'll be talking about Doctor Strange and stuff a lot in that series. So we got sloshed, which I think was a bad idea. But the moonshine, they said, is the Old Gods of Asgard said it would open your eyes to the truth, and it would, chances are whatever's in the moonshine would chemically erase whatever the drugs Dr. Hartman gave us as well. But unfortunately, the side effect is that we're going to be drunk off our ass on moonshine. Oh, so here we are. We're reliving our kind of a memory of the of Diver's Isle. You know, the island. And this is cool. I'm actually controlling the camera and not Alan.
It's all right. I'm coming.
It was a crazy drunken dream, and yet it was more than that. It was the truth, a suppressed memory unearthed by the Andersons' moonshine. I was there, an out-of-body observer. This was the night Alice and I had arrived at Bright Falls, the night Alice had disappeared.
Bird Lake Cabin?
I had a chance to find out what had happened. I remembered being surprised to see the cabin dark. Alice would have never turned the lights off.
Alice? Alice!
So this moonshine's really working. It's making us have a third body experience to what went down.
I remembered thinking I caught a glimpse of her form underwater, sinking into the darkness.
And the lake isn't just water at this point.
Last vague memory I had of that
It has
day.
the darkness growing in
After
it.
that, the next thing I could remember was waking up behind the wheel of the crash car and finding the first pages of the manuscript.
Oh,
I couldn't find her in all that blackness. I must have thought she drowned.
so Alan did try to look for his wife. Couldn't find her.
Alice!
And came back
Had Alice.
onto the dock.
Alice!
I'd been easy prey.
Look at the cabin. Is there someone in the window?
Alice?
Maybe she didn't drown after all. Maybe she's inside.
Alice!
Yes.
The dark
So,
presence had touched
yeah.
me. She had dug her nails into my brain and
We've been
used them,
manipulated.
made me her puppet.
Made us think that Alice fell in the lake, and then made us think that Alice was back in the house.
She must be here somewhere. Maybe upstairs in the study.
Alice!
Yes, that's where she is. You can apologize.
Alice!
You'll laugh at the whole thing together and put it behind you.
Lil C says, I like Ghost Rider. Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes.
You are foolish to think so.
Guilty.
Oh, she's dead. She
I like Ghost Rider too. Ghost Rider's pretty awesome. And they need to reboot the movie. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. He's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now. It's a new Ghost Rider.
all she
And he
wanted
drives a
was to
car
help you
that
out.
bursts into flames. So I think that's as close as we're gonna get for a while. I don't think Marvel's gonna
Still,
do another movie probably.
lake is a special place.
But he's pretty cool on the show, I'll admit. I like Robbie Reyes. He's the newest Ghost Rider incarnation. I think like the 4th or 5th Ghost Rider
What to do?
in the lore of the comics. Maybe even the 6th if you count Noble Kale. So there's a lot of Ghost Rider lore. I'm a big fan of it as well.
The story
Which is why I'm a fan of Supernatural, the TV show.
will be
Because in the show, I noticed when I loved Supernatural since episode 1.
She had Alice. And the
I've been watching that
manuscript
show
was the reason
nonstop.
for
Never
it.
missed. Oh, I mean, I've probably missed a few episodes live, but when they aired. But seen them all pretty relatively when they come out, and been a fan for 11 years now. That show,
All right,
and what I noticed in that show is there's a lot of similarities
I'll bring her back.
from that to the '90s Ghost Rider run, because it's the '90s Ghost Rider run starts off with like I would say Danny Ketch is more of a Sam Winchester type.
Now, in the dark, I'd written for days. A week.
And he, oh, you know what? I'll focus on the plot here for a second, and then we'll talk about Ghost Rider.
Jagger had been my editor, whispering in my ear, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more and more powerful.
So
thought
Jagger
I
is
was
the
saving
creepy
Alice.
old lady, and she's our editor.
Even with the cobweb she put in my head, some part of me had been aware enough to write my escape into the story, to bring a light into the cabin to release me before I could finish, to interrupt the horror story before the ending, where darkness consumed everything and everyone. Zane was weak and far away, but I had written him into the story, and his light had been enough to set me free.
Nice.
It isn't here now. I'm here because it was
And check out. He's in a diver suit. It looks so cool, almost like a big brother.
I'm here. It will be back soon. It stole the skin of my Barbara a long time ago. She looks so old.
So Jagger is actually in the old woman, the creepy old lady. That's Thomas Zane's wife, the one that got pulled into the lake and went missing. So he has an investment in trying to save her. He doesn't just want to destroy the darkness. He's still trying to save his wife after all these years.
All I could do was to escape.
And the darkness, almost like from Evil Dead, comes in like with using the camera angle and attack Thomas, and that's the last we see of him.
Taking its toll. I was barely conscious and fading fast.
Lil C says, or maybe a Netflix show because Ghost Rider's pretty dark. He really is, but yeah, I think with him being on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now, that's
Place he now haunted.
probably the only version we're going to get. I wish they would do the 90s version of Ghost Rider, Dan Ketch, but
Kept me safe that night.
only because I'm not a big Johnny Blaze fan. But I like Robbie Reyes. I think he's cool. And then there was a girl named Alejandra who was a Ghost Rider for a short time. And then there was Barbara Ketch, Danny Ketch's and Johnny Blaze's mom. She was a Ghost Rider temporarily.
That's right, James Joyce. It's your fault, and you're gonna pay for it.
Here comes Nightingale. Oh, and that's the end of the episode. And we get some old gods of Asgard taking us out in the credits with Lady of the Lake / Lady of the Light. What a good way to end this episode. So, we're drunk. We went through the nightmare. We found out what happened. We wrote Thomas Zane into the story. He got us loose. We found out the darkness is in the shape of his wife that was taken from him, and that he's still trying to save her. And then boom, Thomas Zane disappeared, and we escaped. But we know Thomas Zane is still out there. He's still trying to help us. So we will come back. I'll talk through the credits, and then we'll come back with the next episode. I'll take a 10-minute break, let my dog out, and we'll come back in and play episode 5. Oh, I love it. So we're getting to the meat of the story now, and we're starting to get near the end. Got 2 episodes left, and we'll play at least one of them tonight, and we'll try to play the last one tomorrow night to see how the story concludes. Tell them about that witch's cabin key. Yeah.